but at the crux of this for the United States is that we do not believe that the ICC has jurisdiction on this. That being said, we work closely with the ICC in a number of key areas. We think that they do important work as it relates to Ukraine, Darfur, Sudan. But again, on this particular instance, they just do not have jurisdiction.
This is my video update on this Wednesday afternoon, May the 1st. Happy May 1st to everybody out there. Let's talk about some news. And how about that statement from the U.S. State Department spokesman? A lot of people are saying that this is U.S. State Department double standards. This is U.S. hypocrisy on full display with the International Criminal Court. I say no. No, that is not the case. What the U.S. State Department spokesman said is spot on. If you had read your International Rules-Based Order Handbook, if you had read the Rules-Based Order Handbook, which I have read, then you would know that what the U.S. State Department is saying in connection with the International Criminal Court is right there in the Rules-Based Order Handbook. And I have got a copy of the handbook. I've downloaded a copy of the handbook. I have it on my mobile device. I keep it handy at all times. And here is what the International Rules-Based Order Handbook, and everyone should have a copy of this handbook, by the way. This is what they say with regards to the ICC. Let me get to that section. Here we go. ICC, jurisdiction, Putin, good. That's what it says, good. ICC, jurisdiction, Africa, good. ICC, jurisdiction, Xi Jinping, coming soon, it says. Okay, coming soon. And ICC, jurisdiction, Netanyahu, not good. There you have it. There you have it. Straight from the International Rules-Based Order Handbook. So the U.S. Congress, the Uniparty, Republicans and Democrats, they are threatening the ICC, the International Criminal Court. They are saying if you issue arrest warrants for Netanyahu and other Israeli officials, we will retaliate. The U.S. Congress, Republican and Democrats, will retaliate. Republican and Democrat U.S. lawmakers have called for retaliation against the International Criminal Court, the ICC, if it issues arrest warrants for senior Israeli figures over their roles in alleged war crimes against the Palestinians. My, oh my. What a difference a year makes, huh? What a difference 1 year makes. Because last year, the ICC could do no wrong. Last year, the ICC, they issued an arrest warrant for Russian President Vladimir Putin, and that arrest warrant, well, that was serious. That was serious, and that arrest warrant carries a lot of weight, and this is something that the entire world should take seriously and should honor, and it shows that Russian President Putin is a war criminal. That's what they were telling us, right? He is a criminal. Look at the warrant issued by the ICC. What a difference 1 year makes. 1 year ago, the U.S. Congress and the collective West, They were so happy with the decision from the ICC against Putin. And now, 1 year later, Congress is threatening retaliation against the ICC. A year ago, they were working together. Some people may say that a year ago they were conspiring to issue an arrest warrant against Russian President Vladimir Putin. And now Congress is threatening the International Criminal Court. What a difference 1 year makes. What a difference, my God. Oh boy, God does work in mysterious ways. So Netanyahu, he said yesterday that he is going into Rafah. He is going into Rafah with or without a hostage deal. The idea that we will stop the war before achieving all of its goals is out of the question, Netanyahu said in a statement from his office. We will enter Rafah and we will eliminate Hamas battalions there with or without a deal to achieve total victory. Foreign Minister Katz told Israel's Channel 12 on Saturday that Israel would suspend the operation if Hamas agreed to release some of around 130 Israeli hostages still in captivity in Gaza. So the foreign minister said the other day that if there is a deal, the operation to enter Gaza would be suspended. Blinken said the same thing, as did Foreign Secretary Cameron. They actually told Hamas to accept what was the word they used? The generous, I believe that's the word they used, the generous deal that was being offered. And now, 24 hours later, you have Netanyahu saying, with or without a deal, Israel is going to enter Rafah. Now, Netanyahu could be bluffing. That's possible, but I don't think so. I think Netanyahu, he has these blank checks that Biden has handed him, and he continues to cash them in. So he will do whatever he wants, even if Blinken is running around the Middle East talking about a ceasefire deal and urging Hamas to accept this generous ceasefire deal. Netanyahu couldn't give an F. Couldn't care. Let Blinken run around the Middle East and talk about a ceasefire deal or a two-part ceasefire deal that he's putting together. In the statement, Netanyahu is saying, we are entering Rafah, and there is nothing that the Biden White House will do to prevent that. So Bloomberg, they put out an article a couple of days ago with the title, Xi is on a mission to drive a wedge between the U.S. and Europe. And in this article, Bloomberg is talking about the trip that Chinese leader Xi Jinping will be taking to Serbia, Hungary, and France. And the collective West is very worried about this trip from Xi Jinping because they believe that China is indeed trying to drive a wedge between the U.S. and Europe. Quite an incredible statement from Bloomberg, huh? I would say a more honest title would be something like Xi is on a mission to save what is left of Europe and try to talk some sense to Macron. I think that would be a more appropriate title because that's really what Xi Jinping is trying to do with this trip. He's going to Serbia, showing Serbia that China supports Serbia and Serbia's path to enter BRICS. Xi Jinping, while in Belgrade, he will be at the anniversary of the bombing of the Chinese embassy by the United States. He will be at that event on May 7th, 1999, during the NATO bombing of Yugoslavia, Operation Allied Force. 5 U.S. Joint Direct Attack munition-guided bombs hit the People's Republic of China embassy in Belgrade, killing 3 Chinese journalists and outraging the Chinese public. So a very strong message from Xi Jinping. He's going to be attending this event, sending a very strong message to NATO and to the United States. But of course, NATO is a defensive alliance, right? It's a defensive alliance. It never attacks anybody or anything. Isn't that what Blinken was telling us just yesterday? NATO is a force for good. But Xi Jinping, he will be at this event. He will be showing China's support for Serbia. And Serbia is surrounded by very aggressive, very hostile NATO member states. And then he will be going to Hungary, and he will be showing Hungary that China supports Hungary as well. And that's important because the European Union, they are going after Hungary. They're very aggressive as they try to go after Hungary and to remove the Orban government. And then Xi Jinping goes to France to try and once again talk some sense to Macron, because China believes that Macron may be the only rational leader in the collective West that is left. I don't agree with this, but China is looking at it from the point of view of Macron. He traveled to China, and it looked like he saw the light, and we could reason and talk with him. But, Macron, 24 hours, once he left China, he flip-flopped, and he was the same old little Napoleon, Jupiter Macron. So he saw the light for about 24 hours, and then he flip-flopped his position, and it was little Napoleon again. But, China is going to give it one more try. They're going to give it one more shot to talk some reason to Macron, and I guess they're hoping that Macron will then be able to maybe talk some sense to other collective West leaders. Not going to happen, but might as well give it one more shot. Anyway, let's talk about what is going on in Ukraine, Project Ukraine. Fierce fighting going on in Chasiv Yar. Very fierce fighting that is taking place in Chasiv Yar. But from what I understand, Russia continues to advance in Chasiv Yar. There was a Russian, I believe the Russian military missiles, they hit a Ukraine military headquarters in Odessa. This has been confirmed even by the Ukraine military, I believe. There has been a statement from an official in the Ukraine military that has said that their headquarters or their facilities in Odessa were hit. So that was a big story. And you had yesterday a lot of ATACMS trying to hit facilities in Crimea. Russian air defense forces block Ukrainian attempt to use ATACMS on Crimea. A lot of ATACMS were launched towards Crimea. And we're going to see a lot of that in May. Over the next couple of weeks, we are going to see Ukraine, I imagine with the assistance, I would guess, with the assistance of NATO. We're going to see Ukraine make a very, very big push to hit Crimea with the ATACMS missiles, and of course, to try and take out the Kerch Bridge. The West plans to give Kiev not only F-16s, but also weapons for them, according to the Pentagon. It's not only the airplanes, but also the training of the pilots, training of the maintenance, and also making sure we have the weapon systems to go with it, U.S. Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman General Charles Brown said. The F-16s, not only is Ukraine going to get F-16s, according to the Pentagon, but they're going to get weapons for those F-16s as well. And who is going to be piloting those F-16s? I think that is the million-dollar question. Also, where are those F-16s going to take off from? Two big questions with regards to the F-16s. But according to Charles Brown, General Charles Brown, they will have the weapons systems necessary. So did you catch the exchange between Austin and Matt Gaetz? Did you guys catch that exchange? Wow. Talking about the F-35s. Look for that video, and it's about a 3-minute exchange between Matt Gaetz and Lloyd Austin. And in the exchange, Gaetz actually calls the F-35 a very, very expensive $100 million paperweight. Because Austin reveals during his testimony to Congress, Austin reveals that only 29% of the F-35s are ready, are operational, are ready for combat. mission capable, I believe, is the word that the words that he uses. Only 29%. And Matt Gaetz said something like $1 trillion has been put into the F-35 program and the maintenance program. $1 trillion, and now it's gone up to like $1.5 trillion. And Gaetz was, wow. Just look for that exchange. You can go on to Simplicius the Thinker's Twitter account. He has the 3-minute exchange between Austin and Gaetz, and they talk about the F-35. And boy, does Gaetz really lay into Austin and Lockheed Martin. He talks about Lockheed Martin.
How much does an F-35 cost?
Well, it depends on the variant, but
100 million? Safe to say? 100 million a copy? Okay, so we just had the Air Force in here, and I said, what percentage of these F-35s are fully mission capable? And they said 29%. Do you have any basis to disagree with that assessment?
I don't have any basis to disagree with the Secretary.
So at 100 million a copy, 29% being fully mission capable, does that seem low to you?
It's a complex airframe, and again, there are a number of reasons why a platform could be not operational at any one given time. But
right, but I mean, how many?
Having said that, it is one of the best aircraft in the inventory.
Costs to sustain the F-35 fleet keep increasing from $1.1 trillion in 2018 to $1.58 trillion in 2023. Yet DoD plans to fly the F-35 less than originally estimated, partly because of reliability issues with the aircraft. The F-35's ability to perform its mission has also trended downward over the last 5 years. How many $100 million paperweights do we own?
I would not categorize the F-35 as a paperweight.
A pretty incredible exchange there between Gaetz and Austin. All right, so we have this story that the U.S. will be working with Russian banks. That's right. The U.S. authorizes energy-related transactions with Russian banks until November 1st. Until November 1st. I wonder why they picked that date. What is going on in November that warrants the United States to work with Russian banks, which I thought, I don't know, I was led to believe that the Russian banks are funding Putin's war machine and they must be sanctioned, and no country, no business should be dealing with the Russian banks. But the U.S. is now saying, until November 1st, we'll just pick a date. Let's just pick a date. November 1st. That sounds like a good day. Until November 1st, we need to do business with Russian banks that are connected to energy, like the Central Bank of Russia, VTB, Alpha Bank, Sberbank, Rosbank, Zenit, St. Petersburg Bank. The U.S. authorities prolonged the authorization to make energy-related transactions with Russian banks. subjected to U.S. sanctions until November 1st, 2024, says the U.S. Department of Treasury General License. It's all about the elections. It's all about the elections. Forget about this funding Putin's war machine nonsense. The most important thing for the Biden White House, for the U.S., the elections. That's simple. All right, so let's do some clown worlds and wrap this video up. By the way, did you guys see the photos of Surovikin? General Armageddon himself, Surovikin, in Africa. Don't know where in Africa, but he's got his pipe. Looks like he lost some weight too. But he's in Africa doing something, General Surovikin. So let's do some clown worlds now, and we have to start off with, let's see, the Parliament in Canada. Bro, what is going on in the Parliament in Canada? All kinds of wacko things going on in the Parliament in Canada. Oh boy. Interesting place. Parliament of Canada. Very interesting place. Someone should think about doing a reality show based on the Parliament in Canada. I think that would get good ratings. I really think it would do well if you had a reality show around the Parliament in Canada with Trudeau and Freeland and all of the craziness that is going on. So, yeah, Pierre Poulet, I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, but the main opposition leader, he called Trudeau. They were talking about the like an experimental drug fentanyl program that Trudeau put in place, I believe, in British Columbia. And from what I understand, a lot of people have died from this experimental program that Trudeau is putting in place. And Poilievre, he stood up in Parliament and he called Trudeau a wacko extremist radical prime minister. Oh man, a wacko extremist radical prime minister. When will we put an end to this wacko policy by this wacko prime minister? Poilievre asked, prompting loud applause from his party, as well as an immediate reaction from Speaker Greg Fergus. Fergus called Poilievre's choice of words unacceptable and repeatedly asked him to withdraw that term, which is not considered parliamentary. Poilievre replied that he was ready to replace the word wacko with extremist or radical instead of just withdrawing the comment. He kept on coming back and saying, okay, I'll replace the term wacko with extremist. And then Greg Fergus was like, no, don't say the word wacko. And then Poilievre would stand up and say, okay, I won't call him a wacko, I'll call him a radical. And he's like, dude, bro, stop saying the word wacko. Retract that statement. And he's like, all right, I'll replace the word wacko with radical. And then finally Fergus is like, just get out of here. Oh man, that was very entertaining. Look for that video.
I'm going to ask the Honourable Leader of the Opposition to please withdraw that comment and simply withdraw that comment.
I'll replace it with radical.
No,
That's his policy.
I am not asking to replace. I'm asking the Honourable Member to just simply withdraw.
Very, very entertaining. I'm starting to really like the Parliament in Canada. I'm really liking the Parliament in Canada. It's pretty cool. A lot of cool things going down there. You got Zelensky there. You got 99-year-old NAZIs. Crazy stuff happening at the Parliament in Canada. Let's do one more clown world before it rains. Before the rain starts coming down. Wow, there's a little bit of sun over there. But I can hear the thunder. Thunder, thunder. All right, let's do one more story here. Politico, call me Ursula von der Leyen, rebranded ahead of elections. Call me Ursula von der Leyen, rebranded ahead of elections. Commission president's team wants you to get to know the person behind the office. So yeah, she's got an election, a real election. That's right. She's got a real election, everybody, Ursula, and she wants everybody that's going to vote her in office. Vote her in office, right? She wants everybody to get to know, in Europe, to get to know the real Ursula. The real Ursula. So let's read what Politico is saying, because I want to get to know the real Ursula. Don't you want to get to know the real Ursula van der Crazy? Or Ursula van der Pirate? I want to get to know the real Ursula. Let's get to know the real Ursula. Think you know Ursula von der Leyen? Think again. With the EU election just over a month away, von der Leyen's team wants to transform the image of the European Commission president from a tough crisis manager-in-chief to a more personal and warm mother and grandmother who wants her family to grow up in a safe Europe. It's a return to the family-forward and fun roots of the European People's Party lead candidate, who has, since 2019, steered the bloc through the pandemic and Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the subsequent cost of living crisis. Back in 2008, when she was the German family minister, von der Leyen let actor Hugh Jackman pull her out of a trash can. Really? Did Hugh Jackman really pull her out of a trash can or put her in a trash can? I don't know. What are you doing with Ursula, Hugh Jackman? Wolverine, what are you doing with Ursula? It's a stark contrast to the past 5 years, where she has become known for her self-discipline and for sleeping at the Commission's headquarters while working long hours and weekends. Now she has a new campaign website in bright hues, along with a new logo, a circle of golden stars that references the flag of the European Union, and laden with the new Ursula 2024 slogan. And there you can see the new image, the new look of Ursula. More than a union, our home. More than a union, our home. The personal element is key, Alexander Winterstein, the campaign's chief spokesperson, told reporters on Friday. People know her as Commission President, said Winterstein. What people may know less about is who she actually is as a person. Who is Ursula von der Leyen? All right, so I think we all understand what's going on. Who is Ursula von der Leyen? We're going to get to know the human side of Ursula. The human side of Ursula. That's who we are going to be introduced to. She's more than a tough-minded, smart, capable, successful Commission president. She's a person, too. She's a person with hopes and dreams, feelings, highs and lows, good days, bad days. We're going to get to know the human side of Ursula. Oh, boy. Yeah. She's got a very tough election. Very tough election. Oh, boy. Yeah. She's got a very tough appointment process. Oh, man. Anyway. I guess no more van der Crazy, huh? I guess we're going to have to knock that out. Knock off the van der Crazy talk. All right, that is the video, everybody. I'm speechless. I've got nothing else to say. It's starting to rain here as well. So the Duran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, ODYSEE, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, and Twitter X. And go to the Duran shop, pick up some limited edition merch, or go to the Reverse Gear shop. There we go. And pick up some Reverse Gear merch, reversegear.shop. I will put a link for that shop in the description box down below, as well as a pinned comment. Take care.